Good evening, and welcome to the Movie Wrench. Tonight, we take on X-Men Days of Future Past.
Okay, enough with the voice. X-Men Days of Future Past. Why take on this movie? It's got a 93% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, it made scads and scads of cash, and people really seem to like it. The problem is, it's total easy off. If you take 10 seconds to think about it, it all comes kind of crashing down. Here at the Movie Wrench, we take big pokes at big movies, but we also try to offer solutions for these perceived problems, especially if no one asks us to. And no one ever does. There also will be spoilers. Big, throbbing spoilers. They don't sit in the back quietly. Oh no, they're up front hucking loogies and saying rude things and disrespecting the history teacher. So be warned, won't you? Thank you. Future Past has three big problems with it. First, there's just too damn many characters in the film. Sure, the movie makers are trying to toss the comic fans a bone, but most of the audience doesn't know who these damned muties are. And when they die, we're supposed to care. And we know this because the music swells, there's a lot of screaming, and everyone looks sad. I used to work in a comic store. I read the X-Men, and even I didn't know who half these people were until the credits slogged their way up the screen. Bishop. He's got some kind of power, then he grunts, and then he dies. Sunspot. He was a New Mutant. I guess this is him? He dies. Boo-hoo. Next. Most people seeing this film have only seen the other X-Men movies. And because of that, introducing a bunch of new characters and then quickly killing them off only waters down the plot. Problem number one, too many characters. Solution? Flush them. Salt the earth and move on. Keeping the cast small makes their mission seem like more of a gambit. The second issue is all about the focus of the movie. It seems to be about redemption, I guess. Thing is, everyone wants some. Eric wants some. Charles, Logan, Raven, Bob and Carol, and Ted and Alice. Can't take two steps in this film without getting your socks soaked in redemption. On top of that, there's this whole subplot of Charles and Raven having grown up as brother and sister, or married cousins, I don't know. And I can see the need for conflict, for a goal, something to make the plot more human. Thing is, we haven't seen any evidence of this in any of the other X-Men outings. In all of those movies, in the future, Raven's still running around in her jigglies, and Charles is jiggly in a totally different way. So in this film, they're contemporaries, and later on they're not. Besides, we're mostly told about this bond. We only have one flashback given to us to prove that it's real. On top of all of this, we have to deal with the fact that Charles is a druggie, and the Beast is a druggie, and Magneto has all these feelings, and blah, 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 blah. Problem number two, distracting subplots. All tell, no show. Solution? Remove at least the Charles and Mystique awkward subplot, as I don't think it really matters. I think Mystique having her own motivations for going rogue and wanting to save other mutants is perfectly fine on its own. Finally, there's the big steaming elephant in the corner of the room, time travel. At its best, time travel is a giant pain in the French crullers. It's hard to explain how it works and why it's dangerous to the audience. There's a chance of paradoxy, whatever. It's rare that it's smoothly done. And X-Men Days of Future Past is not smooth. Take, for example, the subplot about the Sentinels, the giant, evil, bad robots coming to take out our heroes, all 82 of them, and combine this with the idea of Wolverlogan getting all upset and possibly screwing up the mission. It doesn't make any sense because all of that's already happened. The past doesn't need to catch up to the present. That's why it's called the past. Really, the moment when Twitch, Blink, Kitty, Blimpy, whatever her name is, managed to send Logan back into the past, that's when everything should change, or nothing should. Because if he succeeded in 1973, he succeeded 50 years ago. And if he fails, fine. We can have the little battle where all 157 characters die, and it's very sad. Here is the tricky part. If Logan is successful, then he's never sent back to the past, because the future that he's sent from never happens. He never gets this wake-up scene where he understands all of the changes that have taken place because, well, they haven't. Only if he fails does he get this big picture, because then history will play out the way he lived it the first time. And even if he does fail the first time, what's to keep him from trying again? He's got time. It's all very messy. The contradictions are almost impossible to clean up. He has to succeed, and when he does, he loses all knowledge of why he even attempted this in the first place. Problem number 3, the time travel as written doesn't make any sense. You'd need a giant Dyson, the one with the big ball and the HEPA filters, to suck this mess out of the carpet. Solution? My solution is a major rewrite. The idea is to make this more of a hero's journey. Wolver Logan's mission is going to be one way, and he understands that. He takes it on with the knowledge that he's going to lose everything he knows one way or the other. It's a sacrifice, and that's a lot more satisfying than just being all polished and shiny at the end of a status quo revival. I suggest cutting this movie into 2. The first half gives us the chance to see and understand this great gray, greasy green future, why it's so bad, and why it needs to be changed. And then the second half could deal with the time travel into 1973 pretty much the way we saw it. This focuses the movie mostly on Chuck and Lugs and gets rid of all of the extraneous subplots we don't need. And if there's one thing this film needs, it's focus. That's about it for this episode of The Movie Wrench. I've left out a lot of other niggling little details, like the fact that the 1973 parts really didn't feel like 1973, and the idea of giant robots with absolutely no metal in them makes no sense whatsoever. I'll stop before I start to froth like a $5 coffee.
Tune in next time when we tighten the nuts on another giant, huge, mega, big smash explosion of a movie. And remember, these are only opinions. Mine. They don't hurt much.